Hello. Welcome to the best podcast in the galaxy. It is Still Scrolling with me, Justin.
And me, Derek.
Me, Stefania.
Wow, and we're here for a good time, not a long time. We got a bunch of stories. If you are listening to us in the future, we are recording one day ahead. And we are celebrating Martin Luther King Day the way he intended by having a bunch of people of color recording a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Martin fought for. Isn't that right? I'm going to introduce my co-host. Derek, how are you today?
I'm good. It's been a day, that's for sure. Not the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of times past, that's for sure.
Stefania, are you celebrating Martin Luther King Day?
I sure am. I love it. Why are you putting me on this? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just saying, it's Martin Luther King Day, and when we're recording this, it's about 9 p.m., and I haven't gotten my reparations yet, so, Interesting. You know black people in your life, and you haven't given reparations. Why is that?
It is it's not 12 a.m. yet. It's not the next. It's not 11:59.
There's still time.
The day is still young.
All right. If you are listening to this and Stefania has still not given me my reparations, feel free to put cancel Stefania again in the comments. People actually did it on Instagram.
They did.
Yes, it was great. It was incredible. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll think of a different hashtag to put in the comments by the end of the show.
Yeah.
So
we did release that reel of me auditioning for Black Panther before we started this.
Yeah, that might get you canceled first.
Yeah.
And then
we'll make it happen. This is yes.
2025. Anything can happen.
Anything could happen. Wow, speaking of anything that could happen, I am surprised because I won a bet for the first time ever, or first time in a long time. If you were listening last week, we all made bets on if TikTok would be here the next time we recorded. It is now January 20th, and guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, TikTok is still alive. It's still hanging on by a thread. Stefania, did you expect this to happen? Were you surprised?
No, because I bet on the wrong thing, and you won the bet. But,
remind the viewers or listeners what your bet was. What was your prediction?
Now, I thought that last minute that someone was going to buy the company, like a little mic drop kind of thing. There was a company that was talking about it and put an offer, but it never went through. And then all of a sudden, 12 hours later after, which, by the way, let me make this clear. They said January 19th that it was going to close down in the U.S., right? They did it at 10:30 p.m. on January 18th. I don't think the days work like that. Give me 2 more hours. I was about to post something, and then when I tried, it wouldn't load. It kept on going back to the drafts, and I was like, what? It already happened?
Yeah, it caught a lot of people off guard. Derek, where were you when the snap happened?
I'm not sure, actually, now that I think about it. The entire last 3 days is a bit of a blur. I think I may have also disappeared Thanos style when TikTok went away, for
okay.
Sure. I have no recollection of where I was, what I was doing.
Nothing? You don't remember anything?
No. I was probably just
okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
What were you doing?
I went into a few states.
You went to a fugue steak? I was on live, and I was waiting I heard that 8:30 was the time instead of midnight.
Yeah, I had her at 8:30.
And so I was on live, and then I'm telling the truth on live right now, but I just exited the app as soon as 8:30 hit. Just to trick viewers. I was like, haha, like I didn't think I got snapped, right? And then, I started doing the dishes and I'm scrolling and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, no! Dusted. And I got the notification we're working with President Trump to do this and that and the other. And so I went to bed And I was like, damn, I lost TikTok. I think this is it. I'm going to focus on being a Reels creator. So I deleted TikTok off my personal phone and CapCut off my personal phone. So I was like, this is it. I get it. It's a clean break. You know, you ever have that high school girlfriend who just like, you know, just in the back of your mind or in the back of your life. And, you know, you're like, no, this is it. I'm deleting the content. We're never going to see each other again. And you know what they do? They keep crawling back. That was me with TikTok. And now, as of today of this recording, I can't download TikTok from the App Store. I still have it on my work phone, but on my phone,
damn,
it's gone. It got snapped. So did you guys also?
You can't download it.
Yeah, I'm just. I here's my best guess of the situation from what I gather online, is that the suppliers, the App Store providers, are scared of the penalties that would come in, and the lawyers did not want to trust the wink and the nod that the either administration said that they won't enforce it. Yeah. They're going to wait until the official signing of the extension or the official sign of a merger. And as of now, I believe Trump did, unfortunately, keep his word and extend the ban by only 75 days. So, in that 75 days, Derek, do you think TikTok is going to sell?
I don't know, man. I think everything is set up in a way where in any scenario, Trump wins from an optics standpoint. So I could see it selling. I could definitely see it selling. But Stefania mentioned it earlier that there was like an offer on the table already. That's from Perplexity AI, which is an AI company that I think probably 99% of people have not heard of. So my quick little tinfoil theory on that is that company is just kind of like, they got paid a few bucks to put in an offer so that the suspension of the ban could be considered legally valid, right? Because the suspension has to be based off of the fact that like there's a sale in progress or there's progress of a sale happening. So I think that's why that happened. I don't think that's a legitimate offer. But Trump did also say that he wants the United States of America to have a 50% ownership stake in TikTok. And that's the deal he wants to try and negotiate, which again, like, that it sounds weird, right? Like, for such an anti-communist party and president, like, that's a very, like, communist thing to do, is just have, like, a state-sponsored social media. So I think all of this is just, like, fluff and noise, and within the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to see the ban go away completely. They're going to, like, legally just be like, oh, never mind, it's not a threat anymore, don't worry about it. And then the kind of exchange there is, oh, we're working with President Trump to get TikTok back, you guys, and all the, like, very pro-Trump messaging that we saw on the app. For those of you who may have not clicked it or seen it, you would go into TikTok after it was removed, and it would just give you a pop-up that said, services are no longer available because of a law, but President Donald Trump has committed to finding a solution for us, which is, like, so weird that any sort of company would say that.
Extremely weird.
Yeah. You can even, like, search some stuff now. Like, there's some stuff that people in the U.S. search, like Donald Trump lying or whatever, something like that. Nothing comes up. But if you search it, like, in Europe, there's videos that come up.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I
even did it myself. I searched something like Donald Trump, whatever, and nothing came up for me. Because I saw it on a social media that somebody did that, comparing it to a European searching for it, and stuff came up for them. So I was like, I have to see this for myself, and it was weird.
Everything is fine.
The ring. They kissed the ring. That's what happened.
A friend of mine.
One ring to rule them all?
And then the darkness bind them, because we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the better fandom here would be, there is no TikTok in Ba Sing Se.
Oh my gosh, I saw the funniest TikTok today. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
The text was, Fire Nation citizen downloads the new Ba Sing Se app. And it's like, oh wow, groceries are so cheap there. And I was like, no, they clocked us so hard.
Cabbages are so cheap.
Wow, it's so cheap there. Wow, there's absolutely no war in Ba Sing Se. That's crazy. They clocked Red Note like crazy. But I have a prediction since I'm Nostradamus lately.
Yes.
How this is bad. I think here's what happened. TikTok did not have to go dark as early as it did.
Mm-mm.
I think when the CEO of TikTok went to Mar-a-Lago, Trump said, I'm not going to ban you, but I have to save you. That was the deal. Because I think the TikTok CEO came to Trump and was like, listen, we made your numbers go up because we want you to win. And I think if we're kidding ourselves if we don't believe that Facebook, Elon, and now TikTok pushed scales and pushed opinions in a way that would make it a more favorable scenario if Trump won. I'm not saying they went in and hacked voting machines, but I definitely 100% they heated some content. 1,000,000%. He went to Mar-a-Lago, see we did it, I'll be the one to save it. And that's what happened. They went dark, had the little propaganda message, and then they brought him back. So here's my prediction for the next 75 days. I think it's clear that TikTok is not going to be officially banned. They won't. But here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're either going to see a merger where they merge with the AI company and they still have like complete creative control over everything. But it's going to be a lot like Facebook changing moderation. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you have to be the moderator. We're not paying these guys. You like the community notes thing, that kind of thing. I think we're in for a long 4 years where there is no safe space for the left side of the aisle because we're screwed. Stefania, what do you think about the whole TikTok ban? And are we screwed for the next 4 years? Should we move to fan base now?
I've never heard of fan base, but listen.
It's a black thing. You wouldn't understand. I'm not even joking.
You got me there. I do have to agree with what you're saying. It seems most likely that that's what would happen, where I don't think it's going to be completely banned, but there are going to be some things that we won't be able to do freely anymore like we used to. And now surprising with, who obviously brought back TikTok. So we're in for a treat for the next 4 years, unless there's some retaliation from some people, which I don't doubt there will be any retaliation.
Retaliation?
From people like on social media and stuff. And
oh, I thought you were leading the resistance.
Backlash. Not
Stefania.
I can't say that on here. Oh my god.
Oh, but our viewers can. I think we found the hashtag. If you are listening to the show right now and you're listening to one of our clips right now, the comment, I joined Stefania's resistance. Stefania, what do you want it to be?
It would sound really, that came into my head. It sounds really stupid, the step sistance, but
step sistance? Step sistance?
I mean, it could be worse.
It could. We're not going to go with that, though.
Defiance? Okay, we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll put it in a post, so
Defania. I like
Defame Stefania?
Defiance?
Comrade Stefania. I think that's it.
Dude, the FBI is going to be showing up at my door.
Yes, that's it. Say something about your new comrade, Stefania, if you were listening to this. Speaking of comrades, I think we lost a comrade today, unfortunately, because if you guys didn't see, Mr. Musk himself.
Was he ever a comrade?
Good question.
Yeah.
He did a little gesture at the inauguration. If you haven't heard, Elon Musk did a Roman salute at the inauguration. And I'm saying Roman salute because I don't want to get banned on whatever platform this lands on. And if you know anything about Germany in the 1940s, they loved paying homage to Roman culture. So look that up if you will. Did you guys see this salute? Was this salute familiar to you, Stefania?
Not familiar to me.
Wait.
I'm just picking up Stefania.
Me off so
Wait
much.
a minute.
So I actually looked it up before we started because I didn't know about it because I did not watch the inauguration because why would I? And I was appalled at what I saw. Was I surprised? To a degree, no. I knew it was going to happen eventually. Didn't know who was going to do it first, but it happened. And the way that it happened, it was pretty casual. Very casual. Like I was telling y'all earlier, it was like somebody was dapping somebody up. Like that's how casual it was.
Yeah, it was rough. Not rough, because you know what? This is going to sound weird, but I'm like, you know what? I'm glad you're just being open about it. I'm glad we're not like faking it. Just tell me the truth. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Just with it, so we know who to avoid or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Am I mad that you did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that you were so open about it because at least we know now.
Now you know, Derek. Do you know now?
I'm more mad. I think we've always known to an extent, right? Just given his literal family background, right? But what upsets me about it is that there's always like this accidental blame given to another marginalized group of people. So the mental gymnastics that are happening right now are among like Musk and his supporters is, oh, he's neurodivergent and he didn't mean to do that. He just meant to give his heart to the crowd, except he didn't do this little motion that I just did with my hand. He did the salute, which is understandable if you did something closely resembling giving your heart away, right? He did not do that. He very much did the Roman salute. It reminds me of so now neurodivergent people are kind of getting the blame, right? It's kind of like when the LGBTQ community gets the blame on certain things when it's very much like a very like specific group of like criminals that happen to be a gay person, right? Or part of that community. The kind of on the flip side, right? There's right now, not right now, for like the past, what seems like forever, Bo DeMeo with X-Men 97, right? Every time he makes a new statement, a new tweet, a new OnlyFans post, whatever, he's always talking about how like Marvel discriminated him or discriminated a black person or the gay community or was trying to prop it up for like the show or whatever and just use, kind of use him for that purpose. And it's kind of like you're doing more damage to that community by kind of framing it that way. It's kind of similar to that in the sense where it's like, hey, I'm pretty sure he didn't do that because he's neurodivergent. I'm pretty sure he did that because he celebrates Roman culture, so to speak, right? And he was dog whistling, right? And these guys, his supporters themselves say that he's a genius, that he's so smart and all this stuff. But now all of a sudden, oh no, that was a mistake. He didn't mean to do this. No, I think he definitely very much did mean to do that. And say what you will, he is to an extent a smart guy. He's just not this savior that's going to send us to Mars either. So I think that's what upsets me the most, is that, because I think for some time now we've already known who he is. Now he's kind of, doing a little bit more harm to other communities, because to an extent he lived within his little, echo chamber of supporters that prop him up no matter what he does. At this point, he's just continuing to just damage everybody else.
You know how I know he did it on purpose? Because he did it twice. If you watch the full clip, he did it to the crowd, and then he turns around and does the exact same salute to the American flag.
Yeah.
Oh my! I did not see that. I saw just the one.
There was people behind it. I thought it was the flag too at first, because I didn't watch the event. But then I saw like a longer clip, and the wide shot happens, and you see that it's the flag backdrop, but then there's also like stadium seating behind it. But either way, I still think he very much did it on purpose, just because of like look at it. Look at the salute. It is the Roman salute. And he makes it a point to say, "My heart goes out to you," which is like, that's the scapegoat. That's the dog whistle. That's the plausible deniability that he has to say, like, yeah, guys, I have Asperger's. Sorry. I meant to say that my heart goes out to everybody. When in reality, like, damn well, the man who dressed up in like armor to the red carpet knows what that is. He knows what that means. So for him to do it, it's beyond denial.
Someone getting abducted?
That was a car that drove by.
I thought it sounded like the aliens were coming.
That's the SpaceX rocket coming to get us for talking shit.
It's FBI's coming to my door. SpaceX is gonna come get us. We're in for a night.
Yikes. But that was, I don't know, very scary to see. That's not even the first time that's happened. There was a blonde lady. I think it was like, was it Ann Coulter who did it at another rally? It wasn't
There's always these types. I think in those circles, the Secretary of Defense has tattoos all over him that are they're just the cross, right? The Christian cross, but they're very much like neo white supremacist type of tattoos that have that overlap with crosses, unfortunately. So yeah, there's a lot of fun people running our government or influencing our government right now. So
do you remember that Trump was president the first time around? Do you remember that whole thing that was going on? It was in North Carolina or South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
That like little,
Charlottesville
get together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
get together. This little picnic.
It was a tiki torch party.
It was a tiki torch party. Yeah, you remember
literally a picnic. Do you know the history of the word picnic?
No.
All right. Okay. So let's post this clip, Derek. Hi, welcome to Justin's Black History Corner with me, your local black guy, Justin. And today we're going to talk about why you should use the word cookout instead of picnic. Have you ever heard the song Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It wasn't always a tiger that they caught by the toe. It used to be someone that looked like me. The tiger word was then replaced by the in word. True story. You can look this up, right? And what they described was a picnic, where they pick not a tiger, if you know what I mean. So that's why you should use the word cookout instead of picnic. This was Justin's Black History lesson from Justin. Wink. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next story.
What?
I'm not even joking. That's straight facts.
How come we were never taught this? I feel like that's something that's pretty essential to know.
It's called taking Black history out of schools.
You're right.
They must have banned the book where you learn that, actually. But you learned something new today, right?
Yeah.
On Martin Luther King Day, right?
That.
Man. Okay.
Oh, man.
Well.
Why are you guys acting awkward? It's the truth. It's history. It happened.
My first thought is like, I used to do that. I used to sing that song all the time. I used to make decisions based off of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worse than Ring Around the Rosie. You ever heard of that good old thing?
That was like the plague or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. They were
Mhm.
dead.
Man, you know what? Yeah, it's a good thing that like technology evolved to the point where like we have phones and TVs and speakers and radio and music, because that's like some dark shit, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
Yes.
there's a plague happening. Let's make a song about it.
Hey, what else are you gonna do? Huh?
Yeah,
They didn't have a
sure.
Nintendo Switch to play on.
They
They were
didn't.
busy surviving the
Mhm.
worst circumstances. Cut them some slack, okay?
Yeah, it's like how we will like make memes for any situation, no matter how terrible it is. That was like their version of it.
Literally
Yeah.
me.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Wow.
Titanic is
Speaking.
sinking. Let's play some music, to soothe the death and all. Yeah.
It's been an
Ugh.
honor.
Gosh. Speaking of flying black deaths, Stefania, have you seen any good trailers lately?
You know what? Now that you say that, actually, yeah. So over the weekend, I think it was actually Sunday, yesterday. There was a new like teaser trailer that came out for How to Train Your Dragon, which is coming out this year, and we got a little more of a look at like what we can expect, and so in the original trailer, there's like short footage, in like different scenes, whatever. This one seemed to show like longer footage of each scene that was shown in that trailer. And guys, it looks fantastic. I don't know if you guys have seen the original trailer or like the most recent one, but it looks so fantastic. Toothless looks amazing. And the music in the trailer is the music from the original. Like they really did a whole copy and paste with the original movie with this one. And also Mason Thames, I think it's pronounced Thames. I don't know if you guys have seen The Black Phone. He did a phenomenal job in that movie. That was probably one of my favorite movies of the year it came out, of like scary movies that came out, or like thrillers at least. And I thought he did so well. And when I found out he was casted for Hiccup in this movie, I was so excited for him, because then I looked at the photos and I was like, oh my God, he actually looks like him. It's so good. So I'm hyped. I'm also hyped for the new park that's opening up at Universal Orlando, because we saw a little bit more of what's going on there. I think over the weekend they showed some footage or whatever, and it looks stunning. Looks so stunning. Nintendo World is so sick, guys. I cannot wait. I know it's going to be very hard to get into the parks this year, even if I tried. So I'm going to try and go, hopefully, within the next 2 years, if I can.
That's in Florida, I think?
Yeah.
Or is that, do they have a Universal Studios in California?
They do. And Nintendo
okay.
World did open up there, I think, last year. But because there's not as much land in California where the Universal Park is there, they were able to do a whole lot more in Florida. Because I think in the Universal landscape in Florida, they have like a lot more sections of land that they haven't used yet. And the same thing with like Disney World. They have acres and acres of land that was bought for dirt cheap back in the day that they still haven't used. So they can expand on it more. It's just you could do a lot more down there because they have a lot more land. It's just, when Florida's underwater in how many years? Bye-bye Disney.
Dang. All right.
What?
Okay. Dang. All right. Stefania wants to flood Florida. Jeez. Wow.
Oh, that ain't me that wants to flood Florida. There are people that do want to flood it.
And
Listen,
she knows people? The resistance?
No.
Oh my gosh. Derek.
Defiance.
Oh,
The
no.
Defiance.
Nature will take its
Ooh.
course.
And so will the resistance. Derek.
Listen,
Somehow Palpatine returned.
I think it's important to remind you guys that I'm in South Florida. So
Wait, what?
can
You're
we
in
please
Florida?
not?
I'm so sorry.
I actually didn't
Can we
know
please
that.
not
Can you
respond?
tell us, how bad is it there?
9 out of 10. Sorry, from 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, it's a 9.
Really?
For
Just the weather?
my particular personality type, I guess.
Your liberal persuasion?
Not even because I live where I live, it's not so bad in that regard, but just more so like I'm not a tourist. Like, I live here, but South Florida is built specifically only for tourism. So, there's nice spots. I find things to do. It's not like, it's not a rural farm town or anything like that, because that would be pretty bad too. But it's just not like my scene anymore, right? Like, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm sure, like, if you're young and you've got the money, because that's another part of it too, is everything is so expensive. So if you're young and you have the money, then you're good, right? It's not an issue. But I'm not so young and I don't have money, so it weighs on me a little bit. As for the theme parks, though, that makes up for it a little bit, I think, especially now with like all the cool stuff that's happening in Universal, right? Because for a while it was almost like, ew, I'm not going to Universal and Islands of Adventure, which is the other theme park, because Disney did such a good job at, like Stefania said, buy up a bunch of land and then over like years develop it into 4 different parks, 2 water parks, a bunch of resort hotels, all really cool stuff. Universal was kind of like behind the curve there. For the longest time, for like the majority of my childhood, it was only 1 park. And then they finally released or made and opened Islands of Adventure, the 2nd park. And now it sounds like they're kind of expanding on the 2. So, they're catching up. I remember I went maybe 3 years ago to the parks, and they had like a Dr. Seuss area.
Ooh.
And no, they sound in theory, but in reality, it was like a ghost town. Everything was dusty, like the kiosk and stuff, because it was book Dr. Seuss. It wasn't animated. It wasn't Jim Carrey. It was just Dr. Seuss general Dr. Seuss theme. So it was all like cartoony and stuff. It was very much for little kids. So nobody would go there. Everybody would stay in like the superhero area, or like the Jurassic Park area, like the other parts of the park. And I remember that visit, just to kind of sum it up here, we asked for a refund because it was just, and they gave it to us. We were like, hey, Dr. Seuss was dusty, bro. I waited in line. I waited in line for like this Jurassic Park thing, and you guys had me literally going into the back lot. Like somebody opened up a gate, and the line would snake into like the back lot. And it's like, yo, Disney would never do that. Like, that's 1000% breaking the magic, right? Like, breaking
the magic.
But they're like, no, just line up this way. You'll get on your fake dinosaur ride, in 3 hours. So it's just kind of like,
hours? What happened to Lightning Lane?
No, because they make you pay for extra for that. So it's just like, no, I'm not paying for that to have this dusty ass Dr. Seuss area, and then like 2 other rides, and then the way that it was set up, it's like you could only do like 1 or 2 at a time. Like, it wasn't worth even the regular admission ticket. And they were like,
wow,
they refunded us, so it was good.
You know what's funny is that what you said about like Disney would never do that. You can literally go to like a cast member at Disney and say like you had a bad experience, whatever, with something, or just something was like not how you wanted it to be. You can go up to them and just be like, this is not magical. I don't know. Like,
are you speaking from experience? Did you try this? This is not
adjacent
magical.
Experience, because my best friend and her family went to Disney World a few years ago. And actually, the result of this is actually us going to Disney World together like a few months later, last year. Or no, 2 years ago. And so something happened, whatever, but her mother went down to the receptionist at the hotel. I guess because the hotel they stayed at was like it was the Contemporary, I think they were staying at first, and it just like it was not updated. It was just, there was some things that were like broken, whatever. There was loud people down the hall. Anyway, her mother went to the receptionist and was like, "This is not magical. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do about this, but we can't stay here, blah blah blah." And they gave them, I think, like free nights at, they moved them to, I think, the yacht club, or no, not the yacht club, some other like nice resort hotel, but they gave them like free nights at the yacht club. That's like a 5-minute walk to Epcot. You enter through France. And my best friend and I, we got to use those rooms. It's just like all free too. We just paid for flight.
Nice.
We went in January 2023, and it was just so nice. And it was beautiful. Listen, I looked at the price of the yacht club afterwards, and it was like, yeah, let me just soak this all in now that I can experience this, because I would never be able to experience this again in the foreseeable future, in the near future. I don't know about like near future. But yeah, it was gorgeous. Anyways, so back to like How to Train Your Dragon.
Wow, really rubbing it in for us
right?
those of us who live far away in Ohio, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's only a 3-hour flight. So
3-hour flight for you or for me?
No, for me.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well,
so sorry.
Bad. Not so bad. But anyway, so will you guys be attending Universal and checking out the parks? And also, I don't know, have you seen the animatronic for one of the dragons for How to Train Your Dragon, for like the show that they're doing at Universal?
I've not seen it.
Look it up. I forgot which dragon it is, but guys, it looks really good. It looks like real.
Interesting.
The amount of detail and the way it walks, it looks like it was an actual dragon walking.
Oh wow!
So they have this show that they're going to be doing at Universal. There, I think they have it. I don't know which park in like. Is it like, I don't know if they have a park in, was it Shanghai or somewhere? I don't know, somewhere in like China. I think they have a park.
I don't know,
but somewhere in Asia they have a park, and they have this show where I don't know what they do, but there's Toothless flying in with Hiccup on top, like an actual actor Hiccup on top, and they like fly in, whatever. It looks so cool. But look this up if you have a chance to. The animatronics look amazing.
Interesting. So you asked if I'm going to Universal, and we have to address the elephant in the room, or more so, the house elf in the room when it comes to Universal. I'm scared to go to Universal because I might get canceled for interacting with Harry Potter World. Is it okay to go to Harry Potter World in 2025?
Maybe. Yeah. So
Derek, I didn't know you supported J.K. Rowling.
No,
what?
No, I do not. But I think what gets lost in the conversation, rightfully so, is that J.K. Rowling is a liberal, progressive, left-leaning person.
She's
with the very huge exception that she is a trans exclusionary radical feminist, right? Like
Derek is a
that, and that is a huge,
that
is a huge caveat. That is a huge but. So it's hard to kind of reconcile how you are both of those things, because what it boils down to, in her case, is that she's probably like insane or something, right? Like like the what is it? She bought a castle and then they discovered that there was black mold in the castle.
Yeah,
I never heard this.
Yes,
you didn't hear? Okay, so J.K. Rowling was going off on Twitter, and she as she usually does, right? And you can see in her like black background, right? This like inky black stuff on her wall, and everyone was like, the fuck is that, Joanne? And so someone with the time took another screenshot of a previous time she was like going off on the internet, and it grew. That inky spot grew. And they were like, does J.K. Rowling have black mold? And symptoms of black mold are aggression, irritability, personality change and shit. Everyone's like, oh my God, black mold made J.K. Rowling a TERF. That's not real. That's not a real thing. But everyone was like,
ew.
Wait a second. Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up.
Oh, I'm about to look it up right now.
And whether it's the black mold or not, right? I think the heartbreaking piece of it all, right, for fans, right, is that we grew up thinking like, yeah, this is definitely a very inclusive author and understands like what a trans person would go through and why it's important that we advocate for them and the allyship there. And it was the complete opposite. From one day to the next, she started playing like the semantics game when it comes to like who should be called a woman and who should not be called a woman. And it looks like Stefania just found the pictures of the black mole.
Yeah.
Look it up. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, God. I was so much.
Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is like a picture of 2020 and 2022. Oh,
Yes.
oh my God. I noticed that.
Yep.
How do you not think like it's black mold? Maybe oh my God, is this a whole like Last of Us thing where like it got into her brain or something and
It has to be.
cordyceps
It has to be.
took
And
over?
aside,
Oh my
like
gosh.
ideological beliefs aside, this is a woman that people are choosing to not support because they do not want to make her even richer by supporting the Harry Potter IP, who lives in a castle. That mold is in a castle. Why is it still there?
Why is it still there?
She's
Why?
rich.
Oh, you think that she has no money?
No, I think something is just genuinely wrong with her, because if you were a billionaire and you live in a castle, you like, how do you not take care of that? How do you not see that it's growing over time and get it removed?
Cause she, I don't know. Her
Presumably-
brain is
Yeah.
fried.
Presumably,
I
she's
can't
got a staff
defend-
and she's got like groundskeepers and that kind of deal. Somebody must have seen it. The internet has seen it. So
wonder-
does she
Did she say
see
it?
it?
Let's see if she
I don't
said
know.
anything.
Maybe.
See.
Good question.
Let's
Like,
see.
what
We're gonna
the
look up
fuck?
to see if she said anything about
My
it.
headcanon is that she sees it and she sees it as like her source of power or something. So it must be preserved,
No.
you know? And it's this cycle where it's like
That's
the more
venom.
it grows, the crazier she gets, the crazier
Oh my
she gets,
gosh,
the more she thinks she needs to
JK
preserve it.
oh my
So it's
gosh.
kind of like,
You're right. J.K. Rowling has a symbiote, and that's what happened.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Venom 4 with J.K. Rowling. But for real though, Stefania, do you think it's okay to go to Harry Potter World in 2025?
You know, I was always a Harry Potter fan as a kid growing up.
Interesting.
That's-
So you did go to Harry Potter World when you went
I-
to Universal.
in 2014 I did. Yes, I did. And I do not regret it because it was beautiful. And I bought a wand and I've lived out my childhood dream. It was gorgeous. I don't regret it at all. Not saying I do support J.K. Rowling and anything that she says. Absolutely not. I don't support. But if you think about it, in the end, at some point, like, she's gonna not win, but like she's gonna get something, even if she's not part of the project. Say, like, she's not part of like a game development, or like she's part of the series coming out, but like even if she wasn't part of it, she is gonna get something from that, because she's the one that did start it all. So it's almost like, what's the point in fighting? Always fight, right? But it's like, to what extent, what's the point in like even trying anymore? She's just gonna get all the attention still. Like, there's nothing that like I can do. She's still there, right? She has this power still. It's almost like the presidency, what can we do? He's still there. He's a criminal and he was elected as president. What more can we do? And it comes to a point in life where it's like life, I don't want to live life kind of in this same headset for like a long time. I'm gonna still fight, I'm gonna still disagree with what she says. I obviously will. But it comes to a point where it's like, this is something that I loved as a kid, and I can't just like put it aside. And a lot of people can't put it aside that easily, because for a lot of kids growing up, this was their escape, right? This was their safe space. This was their escape. and to find out that the person that wrote these books said all these things about these people, it hurts. But in the small part of you, there's still like, you find home at like Hogwarts in the Harry Potter universe, because that was your escape as a kid. And a lot of people still go to the parks now, right? It's still busy there. It's never going to die out. They have the new park opening in their like Epic Universe, where it's like the French Ministry of Magic and stuff. And it looks beautiful. I've seen pictures and video footage of it. It looks beautiful. And I do want to go and see it, because I love to immerse myself in these worlds and just kind of escape reality for a bit. You know, you kind of put all this stuff in the back of your mind and just think like, at some point in your life, you're going to regret going to see these things, going to do these things, because of this like little nudge in your head saying like, ugh, the things she said. But I want to escape reality. I want to escape that reality and kind of just disappear for a bit and go into these worlds and just stay there for a bit.
Here's the thing, though. I disagree with you both on this one, because it's hard to reconcile that with the author literally saying every dollar you spend on me, I'm using it to harm trans people.
Yeah.
Now, damn, I didn't know about that.
Yes, she was like,
she said
every
that?
dollar. No, she said every dollar that is continually spent on Harry Potter is a sign that people still support me, and I will use it for legislation against trans people. And you're like, what the fuck?
See, that's the thing. It's like, whatever you do, she's still going to get money, right?
So here's the thing. I think it's still not safe to consume Harry Potter products right now. But here's the thing. I think people that not look like me, I think people that think like me have lost that culture conversation. It is a battle we have unfortunately lost with the Fantastic Beasts movies, with the Harry Potter video game that still made a bunch of money, and they're still making the TV show. And the theme park is still there. So I have no leg to stand on, unfortunately, because we lost. There's no majority. People don't care. The majority of people do not care. And what sucks even more is that, like, I feel as though in the new world order that's coming in with the 47th president, I think even discussions of things like this are taking a big L over the next 4 years. With the series coming out, I lost. And I can recognize that, because now it's just going to look like social media bullying instead of actual collective action. So I'm not going to get up on my high horse and bully you.
Yeah,
it
happens a lot where things happen, right? It's where like you hear J.K. Rowling say that stuff, and then like everyone is like, oh, you should like ban Harry Potter and blah blah blah, and all that. But then after a while, people forget about it, and it's like, oh, we forget that we hate Harry Potter as we're like playing the game, or like as we're reading the books, whatever. It's forgotten, and that happens with a lot of things, not just like the Harry Potter stuff going on. Happens with a lot of topics. We just forget about it, and then we're not reminded about it until it happens again.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to recognize too that like the three of us, I think me the most, because I'm Latino, but I'm white. Look at me, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah,
a white man? No.
Should I sign off now? No, I think the three of us are speaking in regards to J.K. Rowling, are speaking from like a privileged position. Me the most here. So I have the ability to say, well, I'm gonna draw the line somewhere, and that somewhere just so happens to be where, like, you know, I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna give it marketing or positive attention online. I'm not going to do that, but I still want to see this. I still want to see that, whatever. But I think the other piece to it, to an extent, and this is a little bit different when it comes to J.K. Rowling, is separating the art from the artist. So John Lennon is a big example, right? Like, he was a terrible husband, terrible father. You know, there's a whole kind of list of like shitty things that he did as like a human being, but then he went and put out this great this music with the Beatles, and it's all about positivity and love and joy. So it's like, people kind of almost instinctually separate the two John Lennons in that scenario. With J.K. Rowling, WB did that for her. Because WB, the movies, the theme parks, the spin-offs, the extra universe stuff that's happening, the majority of that, she did not create it herself. Visually, just from like a marketing standpoint, like it's impossible. She didn't do that herself, right? So the Harry Potter that most people consume is not the books. It's not her thing. But unfortunately, she still profits off of it. She still makes money off of it. She still has that extra dollar from every person that spends it to use it on anti-trans legislation. So, it's a tough kind of, it's a murky water in some regards, but in most regards, and I think the more important regards, it's not so murky. It's very clear that, yeah, we should have nothing to do with this person ever again. But how possible is that in today's landscape?
Yeah, it's kind of like the actors saying, especially Daniel Radcliffe, how he absolutely disagrees with everything that she said. But I would assume he can't deny the fact that that's the series that made him who he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure like he's grateful for that, despite everything he disagrees about with J.K. Rowling, with what she says. I mean, it comes to a point where like Justin said, we lost, right? People are still consuming this stuff. It's still going on. It's still happening. Even when she's long gone, the profit is still going to go, the money is still going to go to like her assets or like her foundation, whatever she has after she passes. So like, there's not much you can do, unfortunately.
It's literally, you would need a time machine.
Yeah. Or like mind control and just change her words, like what she said, or change who she is.
Yeah, well, I was going to say time machine to go back in time and make sure the mold doesn't make it into the castle. And I wish they wouldn't
Now
set
that's
off
an
this
interesting study. Like, we should be like, let's check that brain of hers, see if the mold actually got in there.
Speaking of getting out there and needing a time machine, you know who does need a time machine?
Who?
Drake. Have you guys heard that Drake is now suing Kendrick Lamar and the label for the feud between them? Have either of you heard about this yet?
I have not, but it's going to be pretty interesting when Kendrick plays Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's getting rough. But basically, long story short, Drake is now suing his label for defamation over Not Like Us, right? It hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the lyrics included accusations about Drake being a pedophile. Oh, I'm sorry, a PDF file. I don't know if we're on TikTok here. But Drake filed a lawsuit against UMG, and he claims that the song falsely depicted him as a criminal and endangered his reputation, suggesting that UMG promoted these dangerous and false allegations. And Drake also believes that within the next contract dispute, UMG had a vested interest in devaluing Drake with these accusations. And that's why Kendrick won the battle. And that's why everyone was bumping Not Like Us. Stefania, is that why you bumped Kendrick's song, Not Like Us, to devalue Drake in his next contract negotiation?
That has a part in it, absolutely. But also because Kendrick just puts out such great music. And I'm always going to listen to Kendrick.
Oh, you're Team Kendrick. Interesting.
I'm Team Kendrick. You know what? Listen, Drake's old music will always hit so hard for me because as a kid I was growing up listening to all that. It just brings back memories, right? But now, Kendrick, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for his performance at the Super Bowl. I've been listening to more of his music like in my car, just driving and stuff. I'm hyped. Since high school, Kendrick has just been the thing for me.
Interesting. So that puts Derek at Team Drake? Interesting.
Drake, if you rearrange the letters in his name and add an A. Are you Drake? Wait a minute.
I knew it.
Absolutely not. I'm going to sue both of you for defaming me on this podcast.
Let's go. Cancel Stefania.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I was never a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I always appreciated his music. I liked it. Uh, I just was never like, a K-Dot stan. I think post beef, I very much am a Kendrick Lamar fan now. Just because of like the gateway into the rest of his catalog. I think it made me appreciate it a lot more. Listen to it more than once or twice every few years, right? Like, I definitely appreciate him a lot more. Drake, I think Stefania said it best. His old stuff was good. It was fun. It was dancey. It was heartbreaky. It wasn't him being like this tough guy type of like, rap battle, rap beef. I got my soldiers lined up to do gang stuff. Like, that's like, I used to watch Degrassi, bro. And and
wait, Wheelchair Jimmy? You're not afraid of Wheelchair Jimmy? Oh man.
So it's like, and look, every musician has a persona, right? Like every musician, whether it's hip hop or not, pop music, country music, whatever, it's a persona. But with Drake, we know like the persona has to match a little bit to who you are because you have this history in of being a celebrity, of being an actor. You were famous before this. And then when you broke onto the scene, you were not this way. So there's absolutely no way that it makes sense that you got rich and famous and then became a gangster. Like, it doesn't work that way, right? Like,
interesting. So you need them to be gangsters to be validated? Interesting.
An MLK Day? Wow.
Wow, Derek.
Wow.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Look, I wouldn't know. I don't know how it works, okay? I'm simply just saying, like, if you're going to put up a gimmick, if you're going to have the persona, it's got to kind of line up for people. If not, you find yourself in a situation where you're in a rap beef and then you lose and you sue the person for losing the rap beef, which is like the most ungangster anti-hip-hop thing you can do.
Interesting.
Right? The whole point of these beefs, the whole point of hip-hop was that it does not involve the legal system, right? It's almost like an honor type of thing where, you both go up, you duke it out, whoever wins, wins. Maybe you make up, maybe you don't, whatever. The point is, at no point should you be talking to a lawyer about suing the other guy or suing, your record label or whatever. So, no, I am not a Drake supporter. Never will be.
Interesting. Okay.
What about Anita Maxwin? You a fan of Anita Maxwin?
Who is that? What? Are you speaking in different language?
Excuse me?
Anita Maxwin? You don't know who Anita Maxwin is?
You're trolling, right?
Is this a... Hold on. Is this a bit? Is this a bit?
That's what he would say.
Anita Maxwin.
It's like he did like a video of it or something, right?
He was like streaming and he was playing a game. I don't know what, but his username was Anita Maxwin. I think his username was that, and he had a hat that said Anita Maxwin. He would say like Anita Maxwin, Anita Maxwin. That's how he would say it.
Ugh. Look, that's another thing that you just reminded me of too. I think it was before the lawsuit became official, but it was definitely after the Not Like Us beef or whatever. Drake went on like 2 or 3 different live streams with streamers on Twitch, and he's just like intoxicated and like talking shit, and you could tell that the beef lives in his head. Like, he's not over this. He has not processed the trauma yet. So it's like, separate from the fact that he sued the person that beat him in a rap beef, he's crashing out. Like, he's bro, this is arguably, like, say what you will, like him or not, like, he is probably one of the most successful hip-hop artists in the past 10 years. He's on live streams with like random streamers, just like hanging out.
A lot of people are doing that nowadays, though, with like
Absolutely.
Streaming has been like the huge thing.
Absolutely.
With celebrities.
Absolutely. But they're not drunk talking about the massive L that they just took. Right? And it's very clear, and it's multiple things where he's drunk, he's intoxicated. and like he'll move his head like that, and they'll people like point out his bald spot. Like he's just taking L after L after L as he like is crashing out through all of this. It's interesting to see, I guess, and it's almost just kind of like, just go take a vacation, man. Like, go get off the internet, you know?
You know, Drake's One Dance was my prom song. People voted that as the prom song. Yeah, me too. I did not vote that as a prom song, but I thought I'd just throw that in there.
You see, back in my day, people just accused each other in diss songs about taking karate classes. And that was huge. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing blank faces on the screen. Have you guys not heard
I don't think I understood. Back in your day, people what?
Nas versus Jay-Z.
Yes, I didn't
the last great war in rap.
I think so. I think so.
Or I would say, if we're talking about great wars in rap, you have Nas versus Jay-Z. Throw Kanye and 50 Cent in there when Kanye West.
That was publicity.
You thought it was publicity when he said, "If I lose, I will never make music again."
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he made music again.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Nas and Jay-Z, Tupac and Biggie, and I think Kung Fu Kenny and Drake is the third great rap war of all time.
Oh,
but
now, okay, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, are you? Come on, keep up, people.
I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling.
Man, non-black people. Anyway, what was I about to say? Oh, yes. Back in the day, the stakes were much lower than calling people pedophiles.
Yeah.
On things.
Yeah.
To be fair, yes. It's different. It's not the same as before.
It is slightly different. I guess, back it was the famous line in Ether by Nas is like, what is it? Like, you're 36 and taking a karate class.
Yeah, right.
Jay-Z
and then like,
was like, I think he was in the Taibo or something at the time. It was the 2000s.
He said like Taibo Ho or something. And then and it was like, oh, you had Eminem on a feature and he did better than you on that song.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think pedophile is a bit of a jump in the last 20 years. I will say that. But telling the teacher or suing is the ultimate going and crying and telling your mom or your teacher. You know what I mean? It's like, if I were Drake, if I was Drake's friend, first of all, hi Drake, love Degrassi, but listen, just go away for a year. Don't post anything.
Yeah.
Don't show up online, delete every single profile, and then just drop a good song. That's all you have to do, and people will forget. Just drop the best song of your career. That's it. Just go away for a year, 2 years, disappear. I don't know.
Go be rich.
Get buff or something. Make a massive change or something. Get a face tattoo and then come out like amazing. That's all you had to do to just save your career. But this, it proves Kendrick right that for Drake to feel included in Black culture, he has to have some ownership or winning of Black culture, and that's unfortunately his Canadian roots. But it just cements Kendrick's point further, and we're going to see that performance at the Super Bowl. What are the chances that Kendrick plays Not Like Us at the Super Bowl?
I think it's happening.
It's going to happen.
I think it's happening. And I think
do you think it's not going to get tied up in legal trouble or anything?
I think I think that's the quote. I think that's the quest that Drake is on, is to make sure that Not Like Us does not play at the Super Bowl. But I think this is going to make it play even harder now, right? Because people kind of forgot about the beef, right? It was a couple months ago's news, but then like all of a sudden he's like, oh hey guys, it's me, Jimmy from Degrassi. I'm suing Kendrick Lamar because he beat me in a rap battle, and now everybody remembered it, and now everybody wants it to happen. And I think even if there is an injunction or whatever to stop the song from playing at the Super Bowl, I think every single person involved, including the NFL, will pitch in to pay the legal fees, the fine, whatever it is, to make sure that that song plays. I could see Dr. Dre stepping in and being like, "Here's some money, play the damn song at the Super Bowl." Right?
Wow.
The NFL, they're gonna want those ratings, right? So I think it's happening. I think
Will
this
he
solidified
call
it happening.
Drake a pedophile on the biggest stage? Stefania, what do you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to happen. You know why? Because bad publicity is still good publicity for Drake. And if this song, everyone's expecting this song to be played, even me, like I'm hyped for it. So if he doesn't play the song, then it'll be the most missed opportunity ever in like the history of music. So
Really?
You know how much like people are gonna go off on social media after like Not Like Us is played, and like if Kendrick says something like, I don't know, a little ad lib, whatever, within the mix of it, you know how much it's gonna like set people off? It's gonna be like the #1 trending thing on socials that night. It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be one of those. It'll probably be one of those certified lover boy, certified bleep. No, and he goes out to the audience, and the audience says it, and it's like, I didn't say it. I
didn't say it. They said it.
Also, like live TV can censor it as well, so it could just be like, you know, muffled out.
Yeah,
interesting. So we will see when that happens at our Super Bowl party. Still, just kidding. No, I'm not hanging out with you guys then. Anyways, I think that wraps it up for our show. How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah,
lots of good things talked about tonight.
Lots of good things.
Unusual time to do our podcast, and we went out with a bang.
We did
went
it
out with a bang.
I think we're in for a couple crazy weeks. I think, and I'm not into sports. I'm not into sports at all, but I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl because it is that one glimmer of like, all right, what's this halftime show look like?
Right? When is the Super Bowl? Do we know who's going to be in it?
February.
Not yet.
We don't know the people yet.
It is.
There's a few more games left.
Okay. Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, and Commanders. Okay. So who do we think is going to be the final two teams in the Super Bowl? Let's lock in our predictions now, starting with Derek. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna say probably the Chiefs again, just out
Safe
of like
answer.
What is it? Dynasty. That's how do British people say it? Dynasty.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not really too familiar with like the intricacies of the team, so I'm just gonna pick a team here. The Eagles, I think, are in the top of the standings for the NFC. Oh, the Lions. The Lions are up on top.
No, the Lions got knocked out.
Did they?
Yeah, they got knocked out.
Because we're in the playoffs already.
Yeah, so it's Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Commanders.
Oh, got it.
Those are final four.
You know what? Let's say Commanders. Just to piss off the anti-woke people. To piss them off.
All right, Chiefs versus Commanders. Okay, Stefania, lock in your predictions now. Who do you think is going to the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be the Chiefs again and the Eagles. And I'm thinking, not because like the Chiefs are likely to go again with how, they went, was it last year they were in the Super Bowl? But in like a publicity stance, it would actually be pretty good for them to be in the Super Bowl because the Chiefs with, Taylor Swift and stuff, it would be great for viewers and ratings. And then also the Eagles fans are known to be like reckless and crazy.
Yeah. Punching horses and
so like it'd be a great boost for social media for ratings and viewership and stuff. But also like it's likely that'll be the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Are you listening, NFL, in case the script isn't done yet?
Hey, I mean, they can hire me for their publicity needs. Yeah. I got all the brains. Actually, no, I don't want to work for the NFL. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Dang. All right.
I'm not interested in football.
You said Eagles and Chiefs, and that was my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to choose something different just to be different. I think, what if the Bills make it to the Super Bowl this year? Wouldn't that be fun? I'm going to say Bills and Eagles just for funsies, just to see what happens.
Or like a Bills and Eagles, like East Coast kind of,
That's all we can hope for, because the AFC Championship is the Chiefs versus the Bills, and then the other one is what's it called? The Eagles versus the Commanders. So it's like one of the two. So I'm gonna say the Bills and the Eagles, and let's see what happens. Derek, where can the people find you on the internet?
Did we do this last time?
Did we?
I think we did.
I think we did it the first time.
It's fine. I'm ending the show now. Thank you.
You can find me on Instagram, nerd.speech, TikTok, for the time being, nerd speech altogether.
And
I'm still scrolling.
Guys, the ending of the show is messed up. We fucked up. Maybe next week. We're doing it next week, guys.
Just look in the description. You'll figure it out.